Hello, my name is Beth Hughes. I am a certified performance technologist and a senior instructional designer at Handshaw in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'd like to tell you a little bit about a recent performance improvement solution that I had the opportunity to design and develop. In 2010 and 2011, I was the lead designer for a new hire teller training curriculum for a large national bank. The bank had recently decided to retire their training region, which was currently supporting the program. To mitigate the risk, Handshaw designed and developed a blended, task-based curriculum that was organized into 4 phases: pre-work, instructor-led training, additional work, and a coaching program. One of my goals when designing the instructor-led training was to make the best possible use of classroom time. This meant moving the content that covered prerequisite tasks and basic tasks within the teller system to pre-work web-based training courses. Tellers could spend the majority of classroom time then focusing on skills that require hands-on practice for optimal learning and retention, skills and concepts that have relationships to or dependencies on other skills and concepts, interpersonal skills, and decision-making skills. With this goal in mind, I designed the instructor-led training around a series of role plays where one person played the role of the teller at an actual teller window and the other person played the role of the client needing to complete a transaction. To replace the retired training region, I built system simulations for 45 various types of transactions. The 3 days of training began with simple transactions that gradually increased in complexity and difficulty as the rounds of role plays continued. Later scenarios included circumstances such as compliance issues, system errors, and client mistakes. The role plays also used real bank equipment such as check scanners and receipt printers. The person playing the role of the client was provided with a practice kit containing all of the materials needed to complete the transactions, such as fake checks, driver's licenses, and deposit tickets, and a scenario card explaining the client role they would play for each transaction. The roles were switched and rotated after each round so that all tellers had the chance to play both roles and work with different clients. It was at this point where I recognized the opportunity to transition the course from training into performance improvement. During the analysis phase of the project, I had identified many tasks that tellers had to do to complete transactions in the system. While of course these tasks were necessary for a teller to complete their job, the real performance that the bank was concerned with was the interaction with the customer. Such as, was the teller making a personal connection with the customer? Did the customer feel valued? Was the teller making the customer aware of other opportunities at the bank? It was extremely important then to the long-term success of the program that the tasks be taught in as close to the actual job context as possible. In order to ensure that this critical performance would be exhibited on the job, I created a performance checklist, which we'll display at the end of the video. This checklist was used in 2 ways during the training. First, it was used as a tool for providing guidance and peer feedback. As part of the course materials, the checklist was printed on an erasable transparency sheet. One transparency was placed at each teller station in the classroom. During each role play, after the teller and the client completed their transaction, the client completed the checklist, evaluating the teller's performance on such things as smiling and greeting the client, using the client's name, and thanking the client. The client and teller debriefed the evaluation, discussing what the teller did well and what the teller could improve with their performance. The transparencies could then be erased and used again for the next role play. The checklist was then reused as an evaluation tool. Day 3 of the instructor-led training concluded with a final round of role play transactions. The process was the same, but this time the teller's performance was assessed using the checklist. After each transaction, the client completed the checklist as before, but this time paper forms were completed and collected by the instructor. Additionally, the instructor completed a paper form for each teller to round out the peer feedback with instructor feedback. The results and feedback were compiled by the instructor after class and forwarded to the teller's coach back at their branch. Coaches were able to use these performance evaluations to give targeted guidance and practice on the job. During the project, we conducted formative evaluation of the training that led to some revisions to both the logistics of conducting the role plays and the content of the performance checklist. Since the training has been rolled out, we've received feedback from senior trainers who coordinate the training and classroom trainers who deliver the training on the success of the program and the improved performance of tellers on the job.